My name is Silas Talton, and I got the opportunity to interview a national recording artist under Warner Records. He has nearly 40 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and his vocal runs are crazier than the inflation rates. His breakout platinum song, Lose Control, has nearly 500 million streams across all platforms. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Teddy Swims. I do want to ask, what inspired you to chase the dream of being a singer and songwriter that has obviously made an impact on, the landscape of modern music?
Man, well, a lot of the reason is your pops over there, man. But I just luckily grew up, I think, in the best place for it, and was raised on a lot of good music, man. You know, in Georgia, there's the best music in the world that ever came out of Georgia, man. So, we got everything from Outkast, Ray Charles, to Otis Redding. You know, the list goes on and on. All the best country music, hip hop music, and so on. So, I was raised around a lot of good stuff, and if it wouldn't been for my best buddy Jesse, who played in my band, we've been making music together since we were in, I think, the 8th grade. His dad was also in a bunch of bands, and was always up playing in his bands and stuff like that. And we got to go see him play, and really inspired me kind of coming up, because I remember when I caught the bug, this is what I want to do. And I really just kind of stopped growing after 5'7", so I don't think football was really going very far for me either. So luckily I have a job now that if I break my leg, my family's not out of, there's nothing, I could still make money doing this with a broken leg. So
yeah. Another thing, what was it that made you realize, holy crap, I'm famous? What was it in your life that made you?
Dude, what's so weird is it's something, because when you're so in the heat of it, it's not even quite it felt like it just kind of happens. My head's down, just always working, and to me, I'm still just that chunky kid from Conyers, Georgia, so and it's so same to all my friends. So it's quite weird. Just 5 minutes, maybe 20 minutes ago, right when I was yo, give me 30 more minutes, I just ordered some Mo's, and the Uber Eats driver pulls up, and him and his wife get out of the car. It's oh my God, it's Teddy Swims, man. We were just listening to Lose Control in the car, and
that's amazing.
And that's the Uber Eats driver, and you just don't. I don't know. You don't really think about those things until they kind of happen, and it's quite funny for me too, because every time I see somebody looking at me, whether I'm at the airport or at the store, I never know unless they say something if they know I'm Teddy Swims or I just look like a murderer. You know what I mean? They might be like, this guy's seen some stuff, man. He looks like a felon. So I don't know if I'm getting crazy looks because they think it's me, or if they think I'm just crazy looking.
Who is it who do you presently look to for guidance now that you have achieved global fame and you've got a number 3 song on iTunes?
Well, if we beat out Kanye, we're gonna get this number 1 next week. So I'm really hoping my first Billboard number 1. I'm really hoping for it. But what I look at right now, man, the guys that I wrote that song with, Julian Bunetta, he's my executive producer, and he's one of the people that has helped me guide through this. Him and John Ryan, who I work with a whole lot as well. They built the One Direction and that band, and kind of raised them as they transition into stardom and that their whole lifestyle. And so I think they've been very, very real mentors to me, and real songwriting mentors to me. And same with Mickey Echo. Mickey Echo is just one of the greatest. And he's an artist himself, and so he's kind of really helped me figure out how to transition into this without going too hard. People like Alan Stone is really giving me a lot of advice on how to be on the road, and hey man, get those 8 hours wherever you can. Even if it's an hour and a half here, 30 minutes here, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're eating clean. You're gonna put your body through a lot of stuff, but just try to take care of it. And I've definitely had a lot of I take mentorship and advice I can get from people very seriously. Anytime I'm in a room with somebody I look up to, like a Thomas Rhett, I'm like, what do you have for me that I can gather to what mistakes did you make that I can avoid making? Because there's guys who have been doing this a lot longer than me, and if I can avoid any mistakes along the way, then I can get to where I need to be way easier. So I have a lot of people I look up to.
Yeah. I do there's another thing. How did it make you feel whenever Kelly Clarkson was like shaking whenever she saw you? And she
Dude,
was
it was cool, man. It was so neat, dude. Because, I was around when the first American Idol was like out, when I was watching her kind of go through American Idol, and that was like, that thing was like shaking the nation. Like the idea of the American, like, talent show, the American Idol, was so cool. And being with her, her whole crew on that show was like, man, all she wanted this whole was like, I just need Teddy Swims on this season, and I just like seeing her standing like 6 feet from her and watching her sing like right where you can hear her. It's nuts. She's just phenomenal. That's one of
yeah,
the best singers on the planet, without a doubt. One of the sweetest hearts on the planet. She's just absolutely incredible.
yeah. I also did see that someone on like he went on American Idol used Lose Control. Like and like I saw you commented on that. Like, what did that make you feel like? Like you've achieved that like
Well,
ratio.
it's great, and we had a girl on The Voice like last season that was like that used Lose Control as well, and it makes you feel good because to me I was kind of coming up doing a bunch of covers on YouTube, and those
Yeah,
there was always a piece of me that felt like, I don't know, somebody's gonna say like, keep singing Shania Twain, Fat Boy, we don't care about your music, you know what I mean? But so it feels really justifying when like my music's now being covered by people and they're really caring about my own tunes,
yeah,
um and it's some of the most success I've had with my own music. And because you kind of get in this place when I think you look up to a lot of artists and a lot of singers along the way, and you kind of compare yourself to the Stevie Wonders of the world that raised you, and I had to eventually, comparing yourself, I think, is like the most toxic thing you can do when you're trying to do art in any way. I always like, man, how am I ever going to get I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt? How am I going to write a song like that? And I think it's the wrong way to approach creativity at all. And instead, I've just been like, I'm lucky that I had those as influences, and because Stevie Wonder didn't grow up with listening to Stevie Wonder, so I got lucky to catch him and be able to use those, I guess, those tools out of that toolbox.
if you could talk to someone who is chasing the same dream as you are, like, and have the same aspirations, like, what would you tell them?
I would say patience is one of the biggest things that I've learned. Even though I get it tattooed right above my eye, it took me a long time to because I think for me, I always wanted all of it right now. I wanted it like then, but I can safely say that if I would have gotten this even 2 years ago, I would have absolutely spun out, probably poured it all into my liver, and just been like an idiot about it, and now I'm like, I think it's all happening to me at the time that I'm responsible enough for it, that that there's a whole new. I know the older I'm getting, I'm realizing like the things that are important in life, and they're not always the things that I thought were important before. And so I think patience, that the timing is everything, but also the fear of failure is something that's got to be gone. I think I made feel like failure my best friend. Like, it's just the best thing to me. And anytime I can be out of my comfort zone and fall on my face and fail as much as possible, you don't learn from your successes or anything good that happens. You learn from the things that are like, so I can go back to songs that I've never put out. Even when I write bad songs, you don't have to hear those. Nobody has to. So nobody's counting your losses, or your failures. But I think I can go back for the last 4 years, and I can hear all the things that have led me into a Lose Control. Like I writing this and this and this. I can hear there's little pieces of that guy coming, that is just developing along the way, And so I think that would be the advice, man. Patience and failure. Like, have those as much as possible.
Yeah. I also like when I see you like interact with people like all around you, like the reason why you sing songs is just simply about love. Like, what drove you to make that decision to be for it to be about love?
I'm my daddy's son. I think, man. I just I was raised very affectionate, and I think people need love, man. I think I need love. I think words of affirmation is everything to me. I need to be loved, and I need to love somebody. And I think it's people also, when you're doing this, I think it's so important that everybody. I think like it's like the voice is the only instrument that's truly just yours, that only yours is, and somebody can play a guitar, play the same chord with the same guitar and the same pedals and the same amps and same lick, and you're kind of like, like your voice is the only thing that's truly yours that nobody can recreate. And I think it's bound to if you're sick at the time, or the decisions you made, or the trauma in your life, or whatever it is that really connects you to it. And so I think it's so important. I was given advice one time from Jesse, actually, and he heard this from a pastor of ours, and he said, "You know who the most important person in the world is?" And I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "It's you, because like when I'm talking to you and when I'm spending time with you, you're the only thing. It's only this moment right here, and I'm giving you every second and every bit of me in this moment." And because you never know what's going to happen, man. You never know who else, or if you're going to get that time again with somebody, or if that one time that you invest in somebody or somebody invests in you, they could really set the trajectory of your life on a different thing. And so I think it's just important to, out of being a person that receives love or giving love, I think it's not transactional, but transactional in a way that it's like that you could walk away with something really wonderful that you did for someone or someone did for you, that could, that what you put out always comes right back to you. What you're seeking is seeking you, and I firmly believe that. And so I make sure I invest, like I'm available and I'm present to everything that's in my life, and just trying to stay out of life's way, and don't make too many plans. You know what I mean?
This will be the last question. What was the best moment you've had on tour, like out of all of them?
I think I got a chance to. We played in San Francisco last year or the year before. I can't remember what year that was. But Neil Sean from Journey came and played, "Don't Stop Believing" with us, and played my song "Bet on Fire" with me, and it was the coolest thing. And we also it wasn't a tour, but I also got to go do like a Christmas tree lighting with them in like 2022 at Chase Stadium. So it was in San Francisco, Golden State Warriors Stadium, and this big Christmas tree lighting. I got to go play "Wheel in the Sky," "Lights," and "Don't Stop Believing" with Journey. It was so cool, man. And that was at one point, if I can tell you this story, at one point, man, I had went down and did this split during Lights, like just full on Rick James it. You know what I mean? I came up and somebody's coming over my ears, because those big screens you see back there in the back, like the big old screen. So there's like 10,000 people out there. Well, they zoom in the screen, so it's just like our waist up. And so Kurt, my door manager, was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Then he comes over the mic in my ears and he's like, "Hey man, put your jacket back on. You just ripped your pants." And I have to send you this picture, bro. I ripped from the top of my butt all the way down to like where my knee is, dog. And I was going commando, my boy. So dude, there's this one spot. Dude, they saw it all, my dog. They saw everything. 10,000 men, women, children, you name it. They're out there. And and my whole crack and, package, everything was out, my dog. It was so bad. But I think that was, I wouldn't say that's the best thing that happened to me on tour, but I felt like that was a pretty iconic story.
I want to thank you, thank you so much. Like, this means a lot to me, and like, I'm going to try to do this more with more people. Like, if you could tell everyone like anything, what would you tell them? Like,
man, that I love you, and follow your dreams, man. Follow your heart. It's never wrong. Your gut is always the right decision. I promise. If you can ever think of a time that you followed your gut and it was the wrong decision, then I'll take that back. But I promise you, your gut's always right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Good chat with you.